Good morning, everybody. I'm pleased to call this committee to order. We're here today, as you know, to consider the nomination of Christopher T. Hanson and to serve an additional 5-year term as commissioner on the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Welcome back to our committee. Chair Hanson, we thank you for the time you've taken to meet with us in anticipation of this hearing and with other members of the committee and with our staffs. In a few minutes, Senator Stabenow has asked for the privilege of introducing you, and at an appropriate time, I'll yield to her. Let me just say, I'll start off by saying a few words about this, what I think is a crucial, that might be the wrong word, but I'm going to say it's a crucial moment, for a critical moment maybe, for the Nuclear Regulatory Commission and for the future of nuclear energy in the United States and abroad. I like to quote Albert Einstein, who used to say, "In adversity lies opportunity." Plenty of adversity around the world, and in this country also plenty of adversity, plenty of opportunity. And the NRC can be and has been part of that opportunity. But today, the Commission is facing some new challenges, but I believe that, again, in adversity lies opportunity. And we're going to make sure that it actually works out that way. As we all know, nuclear power plays a critical role in our electricity grid, and it's also indispensable in our ongoing efforts to address the climate crisis that we face and to strengthen our nation's energy security, while also creating economic opportunity and jobs, lots of jobs. Nuclear energy is currently the largest source of reliable, clean energy in our nation, providing, I'm told, about 20% of our nation's electricity and nearly half of our clean power. At last year's United Nations Climate Conference, known as COP28, over 20 countries, including the United States, agreed to triple global nuclear energy capacity by 2050. Triple global nuclear energy capacity by 2050. Let me just say that again. By 2050, triple our global nuclear energy capacity. I was amazed to see that. Let me say that again. At last year's UN climate conference, over 20 countries, including the United States of America, agreed to triple global nuclear energy capacity by 2050. The consensus is clear. New nuclear energy development can help us limit global warming to our target of 1.5 degrees Celsius. And that's why I've long believed that nuclear energy must be a part of our work to address climate change. My interest in nuclear goes back to my days as a Navy ROTC student at Ohio State University, and later as a naval flight officer tracking nuclear submarines all over the world, Russian subs as well as our own. Happy to report that it was easy to find their submarines, very hard to find our own. And it still is that way, still that way. Went back to Ohio State, actually, just last weekend, and had the opportunity to be rejoined with some of my colleagues from all those years ago during the Vietnam War. But anyway, I witnessed in my early days as a junior officer how our submarines and aircraft carriers traveled millions of miles on nuclear power. And while a great majority of my colleagues and I support research and development of nuclear technologies, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission is charged with ensuring that current and new nuclear designs are safe and that they are secure. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission is recognized globally as a gold standard for the regulation of nuclear technology. Other countries around the world look to our commission because of its independence, because of its technical expertise, and because of its emphasis on safety. And that is why the Congress and the American people expect, that is what the Congress and the American people expect from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. The climate crisis we face today presents some new challenges and, again, opportunities for the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. It is imperative that the Commission carefully review the many new nuclear plant designs that companies, entrepreneurs, and the U.S. government are bringing forward. And at the same time, the Commission must ensure that existing reactors can continue to operate safely, in many cases, well past their original design life. It's up to us in the Congress, and particularly in this committee, to ensure that the Commission has the right leadership and resources it needs for the 21st century. And that's why I've been working for years now with the ranking member, Senator Moore Capito, and others on the committee to pass our Advance Act, which he's the lead on. And I am joining her along with a bunch of Democrats and Republicans on this committee and in the Senate. And as it turns out, I think maybe in the House too. Well, more about that later. But I believe the Advance Act will provide the Commission with the tools, the resources, and the workforce that it needs in order to usher in the future of nuclear energy. At this crucial moment for new nuclear technologies in our climate, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission needs a full slate of commissioners in place to succeed. Fortunately, President Biden has nominated Chair Hanson to serve another term as chair on the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Chair Hanson is a proven leader and a dedicated public servant with decades of government experience. Before beginning his service on the commission, Chair Hanson worked as a staff member on the Senate Appropriations Committee. Well, I believe you. Did you know him then?
No, we didn't know.
Okay, all right. Before beginning his service on the commission, Chair Hanson worked as a staff member in the Senate Appropriations Committee, where he oversaw civilian and national security nuclear programs. Prior to his time in the Senate, he was a senior advisor in the Department of Energy's Office of Nuclear Energy. He's also worked in the Department of Energy's Office of the Chief Financial Officer, where he oversaw nuclear and environmental cleanup programs and managed the department's relationships with the House and Senate Appropriations Committees. Under Chair Hanson's leadership, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission has undertaken significant efforts to modernize the agency while dealing with constrained resources. He has skillfully led the Commission's development of policies to prepare for new technologies, and that includes, for example, the Commission's work to establish a new regulatory framework for the safe licensing and operation of the next generation of nuclear reactors, as well as fusion energy systems. Through initiatives like this one, the Commission is improving efficiency while maintaining high standards for safety. In his time on the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, Chair Hanson has gone above and beyond to engage with both industry and with the public. For example, in 2022, he convened the first commission meeting outside of Washington, D.C. in decades in New Mexico, where he facilitated dialogue with Navajo Nation members about the cleanup of legacy uranium mining and milling sites. And finally, he's also demonstrated a commitment to promoting environmental justice during his tenure by directing commission staff to provide recommendations for updating the agency's environmental justice policy. In closing, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission is most effective when it has a full slate of commissioners who can carry out its critically important mission to protect the safety of our nuclear facilities and maintain public trust while facilitating the safe deployment of clean nuclear energy. I believe that Chair Hanson is the right person for the job at this time. Hope to work with members of this committee, including our ranking member, to move his nomination through the confirmation process. And Chair Hanson, I want to thank you for your service. I want to thank your families, your long-suffering wife, Ann, and your mother sitting out there who brought you into the world and helped raise you and shared you with all of us. He's turned out pretty well, man. I just say, gave him a good start in life. And thanks for sharing him with us. And with that, I want to turn to Senator Capito for her opening remarks. Senator Capito.